What's up, everybody? Welcome to Make Things Tiny. My name is Mick, and today I get to sit down and talk to Josh Steffens. Josh is the founder and CEO of Conex Modular, a fantastic company doing some really amazing things with modular homes and shipping containers. So without saying too much more, let's jump right into the conversation. All right, I'm here today with Josh Steffens from Conex Modular. Thank you so much, Josh, for being willing to be on the channel. I'm super excited to talk to you and for other people to sort of like hear your story and hear about your company. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, like how you got started in the modular home sort of like business?
Sounds great. Thanks for having us, Mick. And yeah, the reason why initially wasn't excited about modular homes, I first of all loved Legos as a big, as a little kid, and now I'm a big kid essentially. So
Yeah.
I still get to play with Legos, but they're full-size houses now. And really, what sparked the interest from from my for modulars is I was already in real estate, and I realized that the cost of building, 100-year-old methods of stick building is extremely expensive. It is not efficient.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a very long time, and it's very expensive, essentially. So at that point, I decided to dive into what is cost-effective ways to build and to build faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I got to ultimately was shipping containers because one, they are designed to go around the world. So they are designed to stack 9 high on a ship. They are 8 feet wide, so you don't need large load, haulers to haul them. So they're designed as a Lego piece, essentially. That's what initially got me excited about containers, and then I dove down into the cost side of it and found that I can shave a huge cost from the standard building methods.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. I think it's great that you bring up that point about the width too, them being 8 feet. I didn't know that they were 8 feet wide, so like that does avoid a lot of the hassle for people. And I know people are really looking for more affordable options, things that are more cost effective. So it's really great that to hear that that is a cost effective option for people because even with the traditional tiny house, like a lot of people are going to end up paying a lot more money than they would expect, even for some of the more like traditional tiny houses, especially if you go the same quality that y'all are producing, which is like really kind of like high end, sort of like luxury quality, you're going to pay upwards of 100K, sometimes even closer to 200K to get that. So I think that's a really great point for people to hear you say that as a builder. Mhm.
Completely agree with you, and thank you for the compliment.
Yeah. How long ago did you start the company?
Business has been in business for 5 years now,
Okay.
so it's been a fun ride the last 5 years.
Okay. That's really great. So you started like before the pandemic too, so that's really good. You didn't have to worry about sort of
Yes.
like starting it during that. I can imagine that would have been kind of a hassle.
Yeah, we were in the early stages when the pandemic hit,
Hmm.
which posed a lot of issues. But I'm the believer that you focus on the solutions, and you're going to get it done no matter what's thrown at you. You might have to take a different path to get there, but you'll get it done either way. So, pandemic, there was some hurdles for sure, and
Hmm.
logistical hurdles. Containers tripled in price and were very hard to get because of the shipping problems. It was
Hmm.
hard to get studs and wood and steel, and everybody was going through it. So, but on the flip side of that, really, it was also an opportunity because what happened is everybody moved back home,
Hmm.
and people needed ADUs,
Yeah.
and that was our specialty, and that still is our specialty. So it was a double-edged sword, right? It was a blessing in disguise. We just had to work through all those logistical hurdles and just find the solutions, and here we are today.
That's really amazing. That's really incredible. And it's also really encouraging too to just have you be open about the challenges, but also say we were able to overcome them and we even found some positives in sort of like a more challenging time. I know that you've briefly mentioned being certified as a factory built housing for California. Can you talk a little about what that means? 'Cause it sounds like a really, really important sort of like certification to have, and most people probably don't know too much about it.
Very much so. The license is
Hmm.
actually behind me on the wall here.
Hmm.
So HCD is the Housing Community Development Department of the state of California. And essentially, they have two programs. They have something called the factory built housing, and they have something called commercial modular. Factory built housing is on the residential side. So we have a license with the state. All inspections are happening at our facility at various stages of the build. And we get what's called an insignia, whether it's on the factory built side or the commercial modular side. And that insignia says that this unit complies with the state of California factory built housing code and has been fully inspected. Thus, when it gets to the client's house, whether that's residential or it's going to be a bar or restaurant we're building, it has that insignia. It does not need an inspection. And that is the beauty. So it streamlines the process, it speeds it up. And also, you know that your unit is being built to a high quality that California demands.
That's really nice for the consumer, and they can sort of like gives them peace of mind. They don't have to really wonder about whether or not it was built really well, and all the different things are sort of like taken care of with having that sort of like seal of approval. So that's really great. And I'm sure that helps you stand out about amongst like competition too, because not everyone might think to take that step to get the certification. Because I'm assuming it costs money and time potentially too. So I think that that's a really important thing for people to know about y'all and what you're doing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Hmm.
And really, it's kind of what I call our secret sauce, or our niche, right?
Hmm.
Is we stay in our lane, and being factory built and also commercial modular on the commercial side, bars and restaurants, it's just an added layer of protection for the client, peace of mind for the client, and also just a form of quality control to know that every unit coming out of here is stamped by a state inspector or certified inspector. It's a third party, but it's a certified inspector engineer. And it's rigorous. It's not easy to go through. It's a very lengthy quality control we go
Hmm.
through. But
I bet.
really, every time I get one of those signed off, it kind of makes me warm and fuzzy because it's not an easy process, but it's a rewarding process.
Hmm. No, that makes complete sense. I know you mentioned a little bit about how like inspectors have to come by and look at your different like the model that you have and the build out. Can you talk a little bit about some of your models? Like, are there any ones that are really popular? Sort of like the design process for any of those?
Yeah, we have set models, which you can see on our website. You just go to
Hmm.
our models tab on conexmodular.com. And
Okay.
then we also do custom builds. And so our number one model last year was the Model B200 and
Hmm.
the Model B240. Basically, Model B stands for backyard,
Okay.
ADU is in the backyard. And 200 is 200 square feet, and the Model B240 is 240 square feet.
Hmm.
And those models are very popular because a lot of people in the Bay Area and some of these, also San Diego, they have small backyards. So,
Right.
they are super efficient. You put a nice modular deck out front, which you can see all these pictures of on our Instagram
Hmm.
or our website. But you put a nice modular deck, you really have a beautiful indoor outdoor space with just the essentials you need inside. And it's really a nice place for, one or two people to call home.
Hmm. I've looked at the website and the pictures are really beautiful. I think that all the different models are really great. They lend something different to a consumer, and they're like the ones that are smaller. They seem like a really great fit for someone that does have a smaller backyard. Potentially if they want to turn it into an Airbnb, they can, but it doesn't have to. They don't have to spend tons and tons of money to do that. So I think that all of the different models you have are really, really great options. And I saw that you have the one for like food, bar, and vending, where like you could turn it into like a coffee like sort of like mobile coffee shop, or not mobile, but like a coffee shop if you wanted to, or something like that. That's really awesome. I could see people potentially buying those for, weddings and venues. So that's a really awesome market you're kind of tapping into.
Yes, we're actually doing multiple builds on the commercial side.
Hmm.
And right now we're building a bar in Alameda. So that's a fun project. Everybody likes beer. And yeah, and what else do we have? Soul Grind. There's a coffee shop. There are roasters, very famous one in Pacifica on the beach on Lindemar. We're going to be doing a two-story container bar / office for the owner to have a privacy like office to look at the
Yeah.
ocean. It's a really cool build.
That
I'd
sounds
love to.
awesome.
I'd love when that one's done. Maybe we could pop back on and we could show you that, or on the next time we do this, we can do some tours of some units, huh?
For sure. That sounds awesome. I think that people would love to see that. So
Also,
cool.
the model, like when you go to our first page,
Hmm.
the picture you see is a 6 module build. That's our model 1200.
Hmm.
That is an awesome model for the price per square foot on it. It's in the 200 price per square foot range, in the mid to high 200s on the price per square foot, which is just unbeatable when it
Yeah.
comes to stick built,
Hmm.
and has a really awesome deck. You can go on our website and tour that model
Okay.
on the Matterport. Just go to the tour button and you can tour through it and see the kitchen and the deck. And we put some really cool floor to ceiling windows in the staircase area. So it's a beautiful model as well. That's a 6 module build. So essentially, each one of those modules is going to have an inspection, a quality control inspection, and an
Hmm.
insignia. And that's that Lego aspect I talked about
Yeah.
earlier, where we're taking 6 of these. We build this house in the factory. The
Hmm.
toilets are flushing. You can cook an egg in the kitchen. The lights are working. The water's running. You can take a shower. And then we disassemble it at the seams and then put it back together on site within 2 days.
Wow. That's really impressive.
Yeah, so that's really the beauty of modular as a whole. We really have some really nice tiny home models, and
Hmm.
also, the module side of things, we have, multiple units that mate together for a larger house.
Yeah. And it seems to be becoming like more popular too. I am seeing a lot more like videos on YouTube where people are doing tours, like people are on Instagram sort of like going that route. So I think that that's really great. I think y'all are sort of like ahead of the curve too, what's compared to some of the things that I've seen, which is really awesome for you guys. If you could think about like what you imagine, like I don't know, maybe in like an ideal world, like what would your vision be for the company over the next 3 to 5 years? Like what are you hoping for?
Yes, we're always looking forward, and we are scaling at a healthy rate. I wouldn't say too fast, and I wouldn't say too slow.
Hmm.
We have just struck a deal with Home Depot
Wow.
as a partnership. We are on currently on the onboarding process, so
Hmm.
soon you'll be able to find us on HomeDepot.com, and we'll be shipping nationwide. So that is something very exciting that we look
Hmm.
to double down on in the next 3 to 5 year mark. And also, really a big one is, another passion of mine, and why one of the reasons I started this company is because I want to help people that are out, don't have a place to live,
Yep.
or without homes, and or are in the lower income bracket and can't afford to live in the expensive cities, but they're working in these cities. And I know our company can provide solutions there for them. So we're focusing now on working with Diddy. We're in the talks with the city of Oakland, the city of Stockton, and some other cities on helping with it's a crisis. It's a home crisis, housing crisis in the state of California. We're going to
Mhm.
start with a couple model cities so we can show all the other cities that this can be done, and it can be done efficiently at scale with the factory built model.
Mhm. That's incredible. I think it sounds really amazing. It sounds like moving in the right direction just with like sustainability and community development and just trying to build community too and keep people together and just give people a little bit more encouragement around the housing crisis because, even at the peak of the pandemic, like it just seemed like not enough was being done. And so I do think that tiny homes in general of any variety provide an opportunity to do that. So it's great that the city of Oakland is on board and that cities are recognizing that. I hope that that continues.
Yes, so do I, and it's going to be wonderful to go down those paths, and to even start building for the people who are in need. Because
Hmm.
we have a product that can help people, and really that, as a CEO and the founder, my
Yep.
goal is to help people with this company. It's not something that's a secret. I'm willing to help people learn how to build these, set up factories all over the United States so we can fix this housing crisis. So that's really the passion, and that is my job as the CEO, to take care of that. So I will be charging that path, and I have a strong team, and we have a strong team here to help with that. And as we grow, the beautiful part is, if you're setting up these factories in these cities that need the housing, you're also providing jobs
Yep.
to those
Exactly.
cities. So you're boosting the economy from the inside out.
Hmm.
And a model that I would be very excited about is if the people that are in need of the housing can become Conex Modular certified, and we can train them on how to build these houses, and
Yeah.
then they can come and work in the factory and build the houses for the community in which
Hmm.
they need it. So
Hmm.
those are the type of models that really, the next 3 to 5 years, I want to implement for our company and for our communities.
That's great. I think it's fantastic. And not every business takes that approach, right? Like not everybody thinks like, how can I make an impact? What can I do beyond just creating a product? So I think that that's really great that you're just thinking about the community too, because that is sort of who buys the product. So I think it can only be helpful for you. But I think that's great that you're thinking about your overall impact.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. What advice would you have for someone, starting out that wants to create their own tiny house company, or that maybe they want to do something similar with modular homes? What would you say to them?
I would say Godspeed, first of all. And it starts from in here. You really have to have a passion for it. And if you have a
Mhm.
passion, everything else will fall into place. Be ready for some major obstacles along the way, whether you're just building a one off or you're looking to start a factory, like we have. There's going to be obstacles all the time. But like I spoke earlier, it's not about the obstacle, it's about finding the solution.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, if you come out with a great product, share that product, get the product out there. Like, I love that you started this channel. And I love that you're just out there educating. You're providing value to our community, and that value can be reciprocated, in many different forms. And I would encourage people to start building tiny homes and to start building modular homes.
Mhm. No, I agree. I think that passion is a huge one that you talk about. I think that that can't be stressed enough, because I know that there are companies coming on the market that don't have the passion, that just sort of see it as an opportunity to make a profit in a growing sort of like niche market, and they probably won't succeed. So like that is a really important piece, because this is a very passionate community. It's a small community. And so I think that that is a really good point to sort of like drive home for people, because it'll be hard, it'll be difficult, but you do have a really solid community of people around the world, really. And it can be done. And you're proof of that. I think that you're setting a really good example of that with what you're doing and how fast you've grown in 5 years, but also your passion for people, your passion for the unhoused community. I think all of that sort of like combined is a really winning combination. So I think that's great. And I'm glad that people are getting to hear from you and get to, hear what you have to say and just learn from your experience too.
Well, you were full of compliments today, and I appreciate you, Mick.
Yeah. I just, I try to make sure that, I always want to connect with good people that are doing great work. And so that's why, I reached out to you guys. So I really appreciate you taking the time to just sort of like talk to me and share everything with me and with, the future viewers for the channel. And we'll make sure that, the links to your website, to your Instagram, to your sales manager email address will all be in the channel description, so people can click and they take a look. They can send an email. They can ask questions. So definitely make sure that people just check you guys out and learn as much as they can about what you have to offer too. So thanks again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome, and thank you for having us. And look forward to doing this again, and maybe touring a model on the next one, huh?
Yeah, of course. That sounds amazing. This definitely won't be the last time that we're able to sort of chat this way and have you on the channel. So looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mick. Happy Friday, and happy Friday to everybody listening or watching the video.
Thank you too. Happy Friday to you too.
Take care. Bye
You
bye.
too. Bye. All right, so that's my conversation with Josh. Josh touched on so many wonderful topics, really helpful information about everything from why he got started with Conex Modular, to some of the challenges that their companies face, how they've overcome those challenges, to what's next for them, and the really wonderful vision that they have for the future of just making sure that people have access to cost-effective, affordable housing solutions, just building people up and bringing communities together, and using modular homes and shipping containers to do that. So you don't want to miss what they're going to do next. I'll definitely have them back on the channel. Please do take the time to subscribe to their Instagram, check out their website, send their sales manager an email to learn more about the company. All of that information is in the description for today's video. And for those of you who are new to the channel, please take a moment to subscribe, tap that notification bell so you find out when I drop new videos. I drop new videos every single week. And in the next video you don't want to miss as well, I'm going to be talking to someone who currently lives in a tiny house. So thank you so much for watching. And as always, don't forget to think tiny. Have a great day, y'all.